those of you that don't know me, I am the director, and we are here to celebrate all of you today and the wonderful job that you do as volunteers every day, every week. We truly appreciate everything you do. Just want to say a warm welcome to some of our town officials over here. We have Michaela Wyman-Colombo from the Select Board, and Tracy Wilson and John Cotton. So thank you all for joining us today. Unfortunately, the town manager and assistant town manager had something last minute come up and are unable to be here, but they send their wishes, and thank you all for everything you do. So you all made a decision to volunteer. You could have sat on your couches or gone golfing or picked out your next Netflix series you were going to watch, but no. You're all here and came in and wanted to volunteer and help out in some way, and we want you to know that we truly appreciate it and that you are making an impact with members here at the center, people out in the community, whether you're doing Meals on Wheels, working at the thrift store, selling clothing, going through bagged clothing that people drop off, and maybe some of it's just unwanted junk that they don't want to get rid of themselves. So, it takes all kinds of people, and there's many that lead groups in here. Friendly visitors, medical drivers, shine counselors, everyone's making an impact. So thank you for the time that you are donating. I thank you from myself and the staff that works here, the town officials. We couldn't do it without your help. So thank you all. You all have a bag on your table, and hopefully you saw the gift that we chose to give you this year. And we hope these gifts are things that you find useful. We try to pick out something that everyone will use. These are little frames that you can write appointment reminders on, or just notes to yourself. You plug them in, they light up. So just a little token of our appreciation. All right, we are going to start lunch in a little bit here, and I want to thank Mashpee Middle High School for all the hard work they put in for our previous event and today. I think the lunch that they had prepared for us for the original date was going to be their best year ever. They made chicken piccata, they made homemade bread, they made pot roast, homemade tiramisu, and we had to throw a lot of it away, and it was terrible. So not good timing, but we can't predict these things. So we were grateful that they could pull together some sandwiches for us today. So huge thank you to them, and to the staff for helping and getting all of this together. I'm gonna turn this over to Michaela, and she's just got a couple words, and then we're gonna go table by table and have everyone go up and get some lunch.
I'm bringing the board with me because I'm so thrilled to be part of such an effective select board. But that's not why we're here today. We want to recognize Heidi and the entire staff for all the work they do. I'm here for office hours one day a month, and for Brown Bag Friday another day. This place is hopping. It's always hopping. And both of those days, both Tuesdays office hours and Fridays, have Zumba in here. And the whole place is alive for Zumba. It is crazy. The select board recognizes, all of us recognize all of the hard work you do as volunteers. And between the staff here, under the direction of Heidi, and all of you, you really make this place come alive. So thank you to all of you. All right, we don't want to stand between you and your lunch. So thank you very much.
All right, I'm just gonna pick my favorite number for a table to start. Table 8. You may now go up and get your lunch.
Okay. Oh, you were saying hi. I'm Kathy Urquhart, volunteer coordinator, and if we don't know each other, then something's really wrong here. So glad that you were all able to make it for our volunteer appreciation luncheon, take 2. And so glad we didn't have to say something like third time's a charm. So I had this really interesting observation the other day. I hope you saw when you came in the sample of the gift that's in your bag. It's the lighted stand that's over on the card table near the door. And I wanted to just give a brief explanation. When you open up your package, you're going to see what looks like a piece of cardboard. Boring. What it is, it's an acrylic sheet that makes the lighted part of the lamp, and you have to take the paper off. The paper's on both sides. It is very hard to take off, but if you use a damp cloth and just dampen it a little bit, that will help a lot. Okay, and then the light has its own, Laurie's gonna hold that up for demonstration.
I'm Vanna.
And your gown is beautiful.
Best yet.
And what letter is that, Fanny?
Many thanks to our awesome volunteers. So M. So M. Wow. She asked what letter.
Right, that you were very good. Thank you very much. That was exactly it, and you were able to read my writing. So a luncheon is such a small thing to say thank you. What you do is just amazing, and the theme, the light, there's little expressions on the tables that talk about light, and it was kind of ironic, because as I was coming into work the other day, I started thinking, and I was thinking, so our theme was light, the gift is light, we talk about you bringing light to other people in the work that you do, and then in the first attempt to have our volunteer appreciation lunch, we had a light bulb explode. I'm not sure what the connection is, but I kind of said, I think that light bulb didn't want to be outshone, and so it blew everything up. So thank you for what you do. I'm going to save some of the numbers for the end, because I'm sure you're really anxious to hear about the special awards that are being presented. But I do have to quote Amanda Gorman. Where's hers? Thank you. This was part of the poem that she read at, was it, whose inauguration? Was it Obama's? Or at a recent presidential inauguration. There is always light. If only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Thank you for being so brave. So I'm going to turn this over to Sherry Norman, who's vice chair of the council. And, you know, of all the people who volunteer here at the center, I think perhaps the council members are the ones who are least known, because they meet, you know, down the hall once a month, and then they do whatever their little things are.
What are you trying to say, Kathy? We should volunteer more in other parts of the building? We get it. So in keeping with the light theme, I'm just going to start singing You Light Up My Life. No, my job today is to give out the awards. Yoo-hoo! David Eagle, our chair, couldn't be here unfortunately today, so I don't get many jobs because he usually likes to be here and run the meetings, but this is a fun one. I'm happy to be here. So these are the 3 bestest volunteers. We're all good volunteers, but these people have risen above to the level where the staff felt they wanted to give them special recognition. And I cannot disagree when I look at this list. So the first award is for outstanding volunteer, sort of the MVP of the year. So we all could be this next year. So, you know, step up. Kathy, I'll see you after. So I'm happy to say that this year's outstanding volunteer is Nina Kokomazi. So Nina has been volunteering at the center for over 10 years. In addition to volunteering, several years ago, she was the volunteer coordinator. So if anybody wants to appeal this, come see me. So some people who know about Nina's work history will say, well, you're not just a volunteer, Nina. But all kidding aside, we've been very fortunate that Nina was willing to utilize her time and talents to help cover the office for several months this past year, while the staff was out for an extended period of time. We're very appreciative of Nina's comfort with spreadsheets and Word documents, as well as her willingness to tackle a variety of projects, including a new program that required a great deal of her time and patience. And I think I helped with that. Was that the same one? Yeah, so there you go. So anyway, join me in welcoming and congratulating Nina, our student volunteer. Do we have anything to give her, or just get a hearty handshake from me? What am I giving her?
Nina, wait, Nina, hold.
What? Where is it? I didn't get a lot of prep for this, as you can see. Wait, but there's more than a handshake from me. Thank you so much, Nina. Oh, we're corrected. 16 years in January. 16 years. Wow. Okay, so now that I know how to do this, we'll see if this one goes a little better. So our second award is the Rookie of the Year. So someone that's just started volunteering at the Senior Center. And this year's Rookie of the Year is Roz Battistini. Seems to be the back table has all the superstars. So when Roz began volunteering as a greeter, and we always need greeters, right, Kathy? She'd welcome everyone with a smile while also listening, observing, hoping to pick up on any clues as to how she could offer assistance. Her natural instinct to identify an issue and offer to address it made her a candidate to help at the front desk, where telephone inquiries raised numerous questions, some without an obvious answer. Roz remained steady in her response, unflappable, knowing that showing kindness is every bit as valuable as having the right answer. Although not written in the job description, she also seems to bake on Wednesday mornings. Pressure's on actually every Wednesday morning. And arrives for her shift every week with yummy treats to share. So thank you so much, Roz, for all you do. She's verklempt. Okay, so, and last but not least, we have our outreach volunteer. And this year, the outreach volunteer of the year is Clark Burrows. Clark offered to volunteer to drive people to their medical appointments shortly after moving to Mashpee 3 years ago. When volunteer opportunities were discussed, it was clear that his interest was to be a volunteer driver and not to consider any other options that could have utilized his education, work experience, hobbies, and other interests. We have to talk. I want more information, Clark. That's very intriguing, that sentence to me. The program considers the volunteer's availability when scheduling a ride request, including time, day of the week, as well as destination. Calls are made to volunteers whose availability matches the ride request. A log is kept indicating the response of yes or no that the message was left. Seems to be a lot to this job. Those calling to schedule a ride appreciate Clark's promptness in responding to the messages, which eliminates the need to make another call, as well as his willingness to travel over the bridge. And I think that deserves a standing ovation these days. Traveling over the bridge. Woo! Although Clark had initially indicated that he'd be available only 1 or more days a month as needed, he's averaged 2 or more rides a month. These rides are so much more than going from point A to point B. Clark exemplifies the compassion, support, and understanding exemplified by the volunteer drivers. Thank you so much, Clark. Okay, so I'm out of envelopes. Kathy, you gonna rest? Closing remarks, that you? Okay.
I meant to mention before, to get power to your light. You just need the kind of adapter you'd use probably for anything with the USB, okay? Demonstrated over there, but I brought the little plug to show you too. So, it's amazing. When people inquire about volunteering, we never really know what path it's going to take. And I say that because there are some people who might lead an exercise class and help in the library. I won't mention your name, I don't want to embarrass you. And then when we have a chair volleyball game, be the referee. And by the way, also happened to have made a few comments about suggestions for the newsletter at one point, so was asked to proofread the newsletter. Now that's one person, the number of different things they somehow managed to volunteer for, without even realizing some of it. So always keep your mind open. I always say to people, what are your habits? What would you like to do? Because, you know, we have people that run book clubs, we have people who will do workshops, work with the people who are knitting, or help make greeting cards, or do crafts a couple of times a month. We have a volunteer who does the show on cable TV every month. I'm not mentioning names because I don't want anybody, but if you would like me to, I would gladly mention your name, because I think you deserve all the credit you should have. So, we talked about the board members. The brown bag, we have brown bag volunteers here today. Once a month we have brown bag food distribution, and they make sure the bags are packed and they get brought out to the car and that everybody gets their brown bag. Greeters. Have you ever walked in someplace and it was so crazy you didn't know which way to turn, who to ask for what, and what you were supposed to be doing? That could be almost anybody coming into the center for the first time. And I think one of the biggest things, no, that's not fair to say because everything that people do is really big, but one of the really important things is for somebody to just smile and say hi. Then at least you've had somebody acknowledge you. And you know what, they might not know the answer to that class that you saw in the newsletter and you don't remember what the name of it was, but they'll take you to the right person that will answer your question. So if you have a little time, I've tried to really adjust the greeter schedule so it's only an hour at a time, because people would say, well, you know, it's long, it gets boring, but that one person that you help, it's priceless. So always the greeters. And I talked about the board members who, people don't always realize that they're there. Friendly visitors who go out into the community. And as I say these things, if somebody who does some of this would like to speak up to it, please do, because I'm talking from my perspective, but from your perspective, it's a whole other story. But friendly visitors that will go out once a week and visit with somebody who's home alone, and is kind of becoming isolated. And I think if we all think back to COVID and remember how you practically drove yourself crazy because you were home alone and couldn't get out and, talk to people, you know how important that is. Instructors, we have the, as I said, the exercise class, the osteoporosis class. We're looking at doing training for another class. And people have ideas, and bring us your ideas and we'll see what we can do. Is John here to hear that? I don't know, I said to John the other day as I was looking over the newsletter and seeing, what we needed to be prepared for, I said, I don't know how I'm gonna have any time to do anything else, John, because you have so many things in this next newsletter, it's crazy. And did I miss the people who come in once every 2 months to fold those thick newsletters so we can make sure they get in the mail to people who don't have computers and don't get to the center so they can read all about everything that they're missing out on. that isn't really quite true, but, you know, it's a challenge, it's a challenging job, because the newsletter's gotten thicker, because there's more things going on. And for anybody who was struggling in the fall, what do I need to do about my insurance? Are there gonna be changes? The Shine volunteers who did an enormous amount of work coaching people, and we've just finished tax season, and the AARP tax people who helped with the preparation, and we still have people calling to see if they can make appointments. Tax deadline, if you didn't file yet, was April 15th. Just saying. So what have I missed? Support group, there's a women's support group, there's a lot of different support groups. The Alzheimer's support group. Help me out. Veterans, yes. Thank you, the sports group. Evan, our computer guru. You have computer problems, you have a new phone and it's not working. Oh my goodness, listen to that applause. Evan's here twice a month on Thursday afternoon. Make an appointment, and he will try to set you straight. And if you still have questions, make another appointment, right? No judgment, right? Just good advice. So I could go on and on. I think I kind of highlighted the activities, and as I said, I tried not to mention any names because everything, the conglomerate is amazing. But I will give you some examples. There's a person who leads a group who has put in 140 hours this past year just for leading that group, and that's only part of what they do. There's somebody who's a greeter who's put in 100 hours, and somebody who did data entry more than 100 hours. So it goes on and on and on, and I'm so sorry that the town manager isn't here to hear about all of the things that you do, because if you were to stop and think about the value to the town, as they say, you can put a dollar value on it, but to us it's priceless, and to the people that you help it's priceless. And actually, I should say, for the things that we're not involved in directly, but certainly affect Mashpee seniors, there's Meals on Wheels, which comes through Elder Services and goes out of the kitchen here. There's the thrift shop, and everybody on the Friends who's working to support Mashpee seniors. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It's amazing, and it leaves me speechless. So I think with that, maybe I will say thank you very much. The bouquets. I had hoped to figure out quick who at each table had the most number of hours. I could go around to the tables and tell you, or you could work it out amongst yourself. But I think the bouquet should go to the person that has the most hours, or that loves it the most and won't stop crying because they didn't get it. And it's just the bouquet, is that right? I have little plastic bags that we can put the flowers in, okay? But please leave the vases, because I have boxes to put those in. So thank you all so much, and be thinking about what you'd like to do, because there's lots of possibilities.
Thank you all for coming, and again, we appreciate everything you do, and just a reminder to vote this week. Saturday is the last day, so if you have not voted, please know that the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And have a great weekend, everyone.